Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Wheeler with the National Weather Service in San Diego, and I'm here today to provide you with your weekly video briefing for the week of October 7th, 2024. So to quickly summarize what we'll be going over today, last week we saw some record-breaking heat across a big portion of our area, particularly inland areas, and we're going to see that continue into the early part of this week, but slowly throughout the week that's going to start tapering off into, less record territory, more just above average temperatures. And that fog that we've been seeing along the immediate coastline associated with the marine layer is also going to back off a little bit as our heat wave subsides. And as we get into the later portion of the week and onward, we're going to see temperatures remaining above average, although, as I mentioned, not the record-breaking heat that we have been seeing as of late. I wanted to show you these graphics to show you guys why we've been dealing with such hot temperatures lately. On the left side of the screen, we have where our high pressure system is located as of today on Monday. And the center of the high can kind of be denoted by where the colors are more of this darker orange and red. And currently it's sort of centered almost directly over our area just off to the east, but really over this past weekend and into today, we can essentially say this high pressure system is directly overhead, and that's pressing the air down on top of us and making it heat up near the surface. As we get into the later portion of the week, that high pressure system shifts off to the east. As you can see on the right side of the screen here, by Friday, that center of that high is sort of more over New Mexico, Colorado, areas like that, and we get a bit of a relief here. It's still going to be above average, but it's not going to be the record-breaking heat we have seen, and chances are, above average temperatures will continue, but we don't, as of right now, expect that record-breaking heat to return anytime soon. Speaking of the record heat, however, we do unfortunately expect it to hang around for at least today, Monday, as we have record highs expected in parts of the low desert and in some of the mountain areas. And even outside of that, we expect well above average temperatures for today, about 15 to 20 degrees above normal for all inland areas. And that's why we still have excessive heat warnings in effect for the valley regions, inland empire, low deserts. And in the mountains, we have heat advisories in effect until 8 p.m. today. Tuesday will be the start of our cooling trend. We do expect temperatures to be about 5-ish degrees below where they were today on Monday across the majority of inland areas. However, that is still very hot considering today's highs were about 15 to 20 degrees above average to begin with. Now, areas outside of the low deserts will no longer be in that dangerous heat territory, but we do expect the low deserts to remain under excessive heat warnings tomorrow, and moving forward from there, we expect this sort of slow decline in temperatures to continue throughout the rest of the week. Now, before we get into talking about the coastal fog, I'd just like to say, don't worry about this number over here. I just chose this graphic to sort of show an idea conceptually of what's going on with the fog. So when we have high pressure overhead, oftentimes that will push the marine layer down to the surface and make it more concentrated. And so what a lot of you along the coastline have been seeing this week is relatively cool and foggy conditions. You're probably wondering, what heat wave are you talking about? And it's really just this. It's the warm air pushing down on that. And when our high pressure moves out of the area later this week, we do expect the fog to become less dense and less persistent along the coastline, and it'll return to more of our normal state of affairs. Looking past this week, as I mentioned, our high pressure system that's currently right over us is going to be pushing slightly off to the east. And so looking into next week, chances are that high will remain just off to our east and will sort of be keeping us relatively warm and dry for this time of year, but it won't be that record-breaking heat that we've been seeing for the past week or so. And that just about wraps it up for this week's weekly briefing. Thank you very much, and you guys stay safe and cool, and we'll see you next week.